Hey, you guys, you're going to want to listen all the way through to this episode. Why? Because we started on time, not like somebody else we know.
And which artist from today's industry would have been great in the 90s? We'll try to answer that question. Enjoy the show, everyone.
Well, look at us. So damn good looking.
I wore a
you.
special Spice Girl sweater for you both today.
Oh, thank you. Is that
Nice.
where two becomes one?
Now, please stop that, please.
That's an old school callback. Adam makes Kelly squirm, and it's fun to watch. We know
Yeah.
that.
I live to entertain. Yeah.
Hey, well, 90s vibes are on because one of the performers at the Grammys this year has just released some new music after over 30 years. So we'll talk about him and a couple of other people that are booked for the Grammys this year. Maybe one of them won't be able to make it. Bum, bum, bum. Also, we'll tell you who's the next subject of a movie and how unique his life story will be told. Kelly's trivia will make you wonder if you ever really knew anything at all.
Yeah.
And then your 90s rewind will bring your memory back. It's going to be fantastic. Now, the Queen is going from the stage to the real stage, the courtroom potentially for Madonna. So I think even though we started last show with Madge, we got to go back to Madge again. We got to start there. We all know that Madonna was going to, well, the show was going to start later than was indicated on the ticket. And maybe that was just the benefit of everybody complaining about their show starting late in other towns. Doesn't make it right, because we have poked fun at Lauryn Hill over the years about being crazy late. And I think that Madonna might be in the category of crazy late. And granted, she's Madonna, Butch, but does that mean that she can mess with people's time like that? Because it can come off as disrespectful, right? That's what we've said of Lauryn Hill when she's done it in the past. So there are people now super ticked about the whole show in New York and how, sorry about the shaking, that's Shadow. He just got a haircut today. Pretty pleased with himself. He's so handsome too. So the show in New York starts late and then ends obviously late. Like I think it was like 1:00, right?
Mm-hmm.
So where are your heads at on this?
Well, Adam, do you have thoughts first of all?
Well, I'm young. I don't mind. I
I
don't mind going to bed at 2 in the morning. I mean, when I went to the show, we looked at the start time for the previous shows,
Yep.
and they were all after 9:30
Yeah.
p.m. So I mean, we showed up at 9:30. I mean, we did our research, but we didn't end up waiting 2 hours from Madonna. We knew not to get there at 8 p.m. and then wait 2 hours and buy 20 beers to pass time. So I don't, but again, I'm young. I don't mind staying up late. I'm a party animal.
Well, from my perspective, I think that I don't mind staying up late either because I too did some research and I knew that she would be late. And so, and still, we were lucky. The show that I saw was on a Saturday, so no big deal. Had it been on a school night for me, and then me having to get up at like 4-ish in the morning, that I think might have been a problem, but a problem I would have dealt with. But at the same time, I think maybe she's not going to be late for our show. Maybe there's that, so people get there kind of on time and
But
think maybe this is the one where she's going to be on time.
but here's the thing: if you're an artist and you're always on at whatever, if it's 9:30, if it's 9:45,
Yep.
whatever. Why not advertising that time?
Yeah.
Why when I go to a hockey game, it says the game is at 7:30.
Mm-hmm.
The puck is gonna drop at 7:30, 7:35 tops.
Yeah.
So just advertise the concert as a 10 p.m. concert and start between 10 and 10:15.
I agree with you. Kelly, what do you think?
Yeah, so there's many layers to this onion. Um, First of all, I had a friend of mine who knew that the concert was going to start late, but she was taking her mother. And so she didn't want to tell her mother that it was going to start late.
Oh, no.
So she was trying to like be nonchalant, but the mother's like, we need to leave at like 7. Like we need to get there. And so she tried to like push it off a bit without her mother figuring things out, but it wasn't going to work. So they got there at 8:30. And so they had to sit there for an hour and 15 minutes
Wow.
waiting for Madonna. So I do think there's that element of it. Um, I think that because Madonna doesn't have an opening act except for Bob the Drag Queen for like what 7 minutes before
Yep.
she starts,
Hmm.
they should say that it's going to be a 9:30 start. And I heard something, and I'm saying allegedly because I don't know if this is true, but I heard that because she has no opening act at the various arenas around the planet where she's going, they're trying to get as much food and drink sales before. So I don't know if that's true or
Ah.
not. And that's partially why she's starting late. So again, I'm saying allegedly because I've never heard of that before. But is
Have
it?
you ever eaten at a show before? Like
Oh,
eaten at the venue?
I never eat there.
The only time I've eaten at a show or venue is when I go for a work function. We are fortunate enough on occasion to be asked to be in a loge, and more times than not, there's food made available to us. But
Mhm.
then you're in a loge and there's a tabletop and whatever. I've never eaten like, we're going to be here a while. I might as well get a hot dog or a pizza or whatever.
Yeah.
It's super expensive. And if you were to get a drink, beer, wine, alcohol, whatever, those are expensive too. And even the non-alcoholic stuff is expensive.
Case in point, I got my mother a water bottle for the
Oh
Mariah
gosh.
Carey concert.
Oh, how
And I
much?
knew it. And in my head, I was like, Mom, just don't drink. Like that was I was like, just,
Yeah.
$5 for a water bottle where you could normally get that for, I don't know, 99 cents at Costco. Like
Yeah.
it's ridiculous. And then the thing that adds insult to injury is they made me take the top off before I left the area.
Because you're gonna zing it at Mariah like that,
So
probably. That's what
it's
they were
so
worried
I've never,
about.
so my mom had to like balance this water bottle throughout the show because there was no top on it. Like it's just
Oh,
ridiculous. So I'm not a fan of eating at venues. And just I wanted to say, I know Sharon used the word loge, which we all understand. In Canada, that would be a private suite for our friends in the States.
right.
Private
Or
box.
Suite and loge.
Yeah.
don't we
Fancy talk.
don't we call it a box? Like in
Or a
sporting
box. Yep.
events, it's
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some of those. So yeah,
I'm just
I
trying to
don't
elevate this show's stature by
sounds
using fancy words.
it sounds more fancy with saying loge. So yeah, back to Madonna. I think because she has no opening act, it should be on the ticket, start time 9:30 and then start at 9:45, which is and I looked at my watch when Bob the Drag Queen started, it was 9:40.
Yeah.
That's when he started our show. So there's that. And then yeah, like I just think that even if you are Madonna, like I love her so much, so it's fine, but it's not fine. It's like start at friggin' 8:30 if that's when you're gonna say you're gonna start. Because even like, when they have an opening act, the headliner's not getting on until 9 or 9:15. But
Yeah.
if you have no opening act, then just be honest, say like we're not getting on until 9:30. Um,
I
I just
wonder if
don't
is there not a penalty for going past a certain time though, like a
in
curfew?
certain venues, yeah. Like you
Yeah.
can
So I
get
wonder if she just pays that.
I
well,
think she does occasionally.
I think in Montreal you can be fined, and I don't know for I went on the first night of Madonna. Guess what time the show ended?
What time?
Midnight.
Yeah.
Boom. So I'm guessing she wanted to go as late as possible. So she went on at 9:47, whatever, because her set was 2 hours and 13 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
So she made sure we're gonna stop the show at midnight, not getting fined,
Yeah.
and starting as late as possible.
I think that Kelly, you're right though. You have to make it clear on the ticket, like
Yeah.
because nobody likes it when you're late, because at a certain point it goes from being fashionable to being disrespectful.
Yeah. And that's the thing, because I remember you, Sharon, in our episode last week, like we were talking and I was listening back, in the car as I usually do. And you had said, like, Madonna was so thankful during your show. And she was
Yeah.
thankful during ours, but I think she probably settled in a bit for your show and was maybe more chatty. I think she was fairly chatty with us, but I think maybe you got more.
Yep.
And so the thing is like, whether you're Madonna, whether you're an up and coming artist that's just popped like a SZA for the last couple of years, let's say, um, you wouldn't be there without us. So respect us paying for your lavish lifestyle.
Well, there you have it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's enough. I'm going to cough now. Excuse me.
Sure, go for it. Bless you, dear. It's interesting, though, that one of her collaborators has been going on the offensive/defensive, trying to remind the world of all the virtues that Madonna brings to the table, all the good that she does in the world. And is that perhaps to lighten the scrutiny of people tapping their wrist going, start the show, start the show?
Yeah. Because I do the part that also upsets me, and I don't know if it's true or not for these, because I think New York is the city that never sleeps, but I think their lawsuit claims about how transportation getting home. And so I'm not sure what time the subways stop in New York City, you know? So I do think that's like you need to, I don't know, it's like you need to be considerate of these people that are, and you know, there's people that are coming in from other cities that are flying in, like all that stuff, and they might have an early flight. Like for example, when I went to Janet in May of last year, one of my listeners on my show here in Montreal, they flew in for Janet's show in Toronto. And I can't remember if they were able to get a late flight out that night. But it was in and out. I remember that. So that's the other thing is like, what happens if they have an early flight out the next morning or that night if they can try to make their flight out? Like, what are you doing? So I do think that artists need to not like, they need to remember where they come from.
Well, I think it's interesting too. We could totally dive deeper into it. Why does she have to start at that time? Why can't she start at 8:30?
Yeah.
Like, why?
Yeah, well, that's it. I would want to start like even like Janet now, she usually starts fairly early. Like, I mean, she did have an opening act on this one, but he was like, it was ludicrous. And I think he was on at 8:15 or 8.
Yeah.
And she was on before 9, I think. Like he did half an hour. He might have even started before 8 now that I think about it. And she got going, like we were done by like 10:30, quarter to 11.
And I think that's like all things considered, like you said, people trying to get home, public transit, things like that. That does have a end time. So if you miss that, you're sort of left to spend even more money on a show that you've already spent quite a bit of money on.
Yeah.
Just trying to get yourself home. So
is it, and I guess too, like again, I wasn't mad because I think, you know, you and I and Adam and you know, X amount of other people knew that she was going to start late. So we also like Elaine and I timed that out for us to arrive at like we got there I think at 9:15 or 9:20. So we just had like, you know, 20 minutes or so to settle in, and then, you know, he started, Bob the drag queen. But I just feel like Madonna, being someone who is self-made, who comes from Detroit, from a working class city, you know, I don't know where you forget where you come from and know that there are people that need to get up the next morning and get back at it. So
well, that's one element I think maybe that she has forgotten.
Maybe.
But at the same time, maybe she hasn't. That's just the way she does her thing. And then we get back to, if that's the way you do your thing, then indicate that on the ticket.
Yeah. You know who should never do a collaboration together?
Who?
Madonna and Lauryn Hill. They would start at 2 a.m.
Oh, it would never start.
Yeah, it's true.
When is it starting? It's not. We fell for it. All right. Well, good luck to Madonna and the rest of her tour starting at late o'clock.
Yeah. Exactly. Can I, Sharon, just before you, because this actually plays into an update I have for you. So I think I should, is that okay?
Please jump in, Kelly.
So Ginger Bear, one of our favorite listeners from New Zealand. So he sent us an amazing message on our YouTube channel. And I just have to pass it along to you and Adam and also to all of our listeners. He has finally revealed his first name.
Uh-oh.
Do you want to know, or do I keep it to myself and we just call him Ginger Bear?
I kind of want to know. I'll always still call him Ginger Bear. Okay. Can we guess? Is it Lloyd?
It's close. That's close.
What sounds like Lloyd?
Leonard.
Well, it's not with an L, but it's like in that vein.
2 consonants. Patrick.
No, ready?
Oh.
So Ginger Bear, aka Stu.
Stu.
Yep. So he went back recently to get, from what I understand, he was a flight attendant And then during COVID, I guess, was not that, and
Right.
now got recertified. And he managed to get a trip to New York, a working flight. And as of our recording, he saw Madonna's show last night in New York.
Nice.
And I'm so happy for him. And he said that he managed to get to the box office, so he didn't have to buy from any sort of unseaty character, and
Yep.
managed to get a seat 10 rows up.
Oh.
I think the left side of the stage is what he said. And he said it was amazing because he was close enough to her, but also close enough to see the entire stage, which he was ecstatic about. He said he had a few tears, and he was
Oh.
absolutely just beyond thrilled to get there. And now I think he says he just has to probably sell a kidney to pay for the ticket.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
we get it.
And he has severe jet lag, but he was like just so happy to go. So on behalf of us, I think we're just so happy that he was able to make that show from New Zealand.
Wow. Good for you, Ginger Bear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then he left. The last part of the message was stay hot.
Always.
Yeah.
On it, Ginger Bear.
Yeah. Yeah.
On it, Stu.
Yeah.
I
love that he finally revealed his name, because he put in brackets, he goes, "It's Stu." So,
Stu with a U or an EW?
STU.
Cool.
Yeah. Because I write to him now like we're buds, because we are. I'm like, "Gee, Ginger Bear, what's going on?" Yeah.
Stuart.
Yeah.
That's probably how his
Isn't it below Dick?
Stuart. Get above Dick. That's Dick.
Anyways, back to you, Sharon. And I do have one more surprise whenever you call for it. I do have one more surprise for you.
Okay, so do you want to do it? You want to surprise? You want to
we could
sprinkle the surprises throughout, so we live a balanced life, or what?
Maybe after your rewind, maybe.
Ooh, okay. So we have something to look forward to.
Yep.
And right now we have something to look forward to, because I think we should get into some triv.
I'm scared.
Me too.
90s. Now, trivia.
Bing bong.
All right, so we are on to two new cards: the nice light blue, and then a fighting salmon card. Here we are.
Nice.
So we'll start with news and politics. Which U.S. state voted for the legalization of cannabis for medicinal purposes in 1996?
Colorado.
No.
Sharon.
Go, Sharon.
California.
Go, girl. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Bravo.
I know my drug states. The drug states are a little bit high, a little bit higher, super stoned. And California.
That actually, don't they have what do they call it? California sober? Isn't that a thing?
Oh, what's that mean?
That means that you smoke weed, I think.
That's not sober.
No, because actually, if Adam Googles it, because remember when Demi Lovato was getting herself back on track after the 2018 situation?
Mm-hmm.
So I think she was clean for X amount of time, and then told everybody she was California sober, which if Adam has the definition, I'm pretty sure it means you still smoke weed. But then she recently came out I think I read it in the last few months, that she had to go back to being sober. And she's like, I don't think I should have even advocated for that, because it did not work for me. So,
right. That's like when you quit, when you smoke cigarettes and you're like, oh, I'm just going to be a social smoker. And then you find yourself going out on Mondays. Like, I got to go out.
Yeah. So California sober means, it describes people who decide to quit consuming drugs and alcohol, with a few exceptions. So
benefits.
Does it mean you never drink and then twice a year you drink, or does exceptions meaning I don't drink but I smoke weed, or
right?
I can't speak for, because I don't think Demi was ever super specific, but I feel like it was smoking up like weed. And then I feel like she said in this latest statement that I think it was leading her to other things.
Of course.
It's kind of like even when you're at Christmas and you're like, I'm gonna have chocolate, and you're gonna like, I think I'll have chips also, because it's like, you know what I mean?
Because why not? I'm already down this slippery slope of deliciousness. Let's just keep greasing it.
Yeah, exactly.
Got it.
So good one, Sharon. Good one.
Hey, thank you.
Question number 2. Which supermodel was first discovered at the age of 14 in JFK Airport in New York?
Hmm. Sharon?
Oh, Sharon.
I'm going to say Brooke Shields.
Nope.
No, because it's just I'm fresh off a documentary, so she's on my mind.
Naomi Campbell.
Nope.
Wait, I have another guess.
Yeah.
Cindy Crawford.
No. Isn't she
Tyra Banks.
Do you have another guess?
Of course, there's a whole super group of
There's a supermodel group.
super trooper group of models.
Kate
14.
Moss.
Kate
Yes,
Moss, yeah.
Kate Moss.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Nice job, Adam.
Took me a few guesses.
Because she's always been that petite. She's looked the same. She's aged well, but she's always been in that range of, even when she was young, she didn't look young, but when she's gotten older, she didn't look like she aged.
Yep.
Interesting.
You know what's funny is, like, I always forget that she's in that, because to me she's very unassuming in a way. So like I always find, like, I forget that she's in that group of supermodels, even though, like, of course she is. But
yeah. Interesting.
I was a big fan of the Naomi Campbell. I just thought she was fierce.
Fierce and then sort of ferocious.
Yeah.
Like, didn't she throw phones at people?
Yeah. I think that's the ninja part of me.
That's like the fine line of, I'm fierce and you better watch it because I'm going to smash you with this phone. And that's like a little off balance, maybe.
Yeah. I like the dangerous lady, Sharon.
she becomes no lady, Kelly.
Yeah, don't tell my significant other who goes from 60 in 1 second.
It's funny.
He's feisty Irish. Anyways, back to you, Sharon.
Speaking of ferocious.
Yeah.
Okay, so the Grammys are coming up. By the time everybody's hearing the show, I think technically, because we are optimistic that you're on the edge of your seats waiting for this show to drop. The Grammys are not that far from now. And Billy Joel is on the list of performers. And so what's cool about his appearance, in my opinion anyways, I think, is that it lines up perfectly with the release of a new song, which would be the first new song in just over 30 years.
Wow. It's been that long.
Yeah. River of Dreams in 93, right?
Yeah. Was that his last single, Sharon?
That was the last pop single, I think. There might have been other collaborations, but nothing in the way of, I'm going to sit down and write an album. That hasn't happened, much to the chagrin of his friend Elton John, who's doesn't stop, right? We know that. Will continue to make music until as long as he's on Earth. So he has vocalized, like, what are you doing? Why are you not writing your Billy Joel kind of thing? And he's like, I've done it. So I'm not sure what turned him, but there was a clip of a new song that I'm sure he'll be performing at the Grammys. That was released, just a little snip of it, sounded a little Piano Man-ish, which is celebrating its 50th. And then I'm not sure if you've gone to Spotify to check out Billy Joel there. Have you?
No.
Well, I don't want to distract anybody from listening, but maybe make a note of finishing this podcast and then checking it out later, that if you go to, or check it on another device, if you open up Spotify and put in Billy Joel and then play a song, and you know how you can see sometimes a video or the lyrics or whatever, every song in his catalog had the message, did I wait too long? And so the message was, you could see it being written. So someone was writing it. Did I wait too long? And then ... So on every song, it's like, oh, what does that mean? Is that the name of the new album? Etc. So we'll see what happens with that. I'm sure it's going to be great when he performs on the Grammys. And really cool that, this many years later, he's like, all right, I'll do it.
Yeah.
Super cool. Now, the Grammys will also, it's not guaranteed that Taylor Swift's going to be there, right? That's what we keep hearing, that she may not make it.
I think she will. I think she will be, because she's starting her second leg of her, or I don't think it's second leg. It might be third or fourth at this point. Japan, like Tokyo, because I know
Yeah.
everybody's been doing the math if she'll get back in time for Super Bowl to see her man in action.
Right.
So
Oh, that's the conflict. Sorry, it's not the Grammys that are the conflict for her. It's the Super Bowl. Right. Okay.
'Cause I
So
think she heads out after, because like knowing Taylor, not that I do, but track history, I feel like she will have planned to know like, oh, Grammys are this weekend. We're leaving after to go start, because she's, I
right.
don't know, is it 8 or 9 nominations she's got this year?
Yeah.
So of course she can't be too surprised when she gets up on stage to pick
She'll
them all.
act surprised, Kelly. She always does.
Yeah.
Like, what?
Yeah,
Me?
because the Grammys are on the 4th and her shows start back on the 7th.
So there you go.
Ah.
So
Yeah.
she's good to go.
I'm sure she planned that out.
Well, it'll be neat if all this attention that the NFL has received from her just being at the Chiefs games in the last, few months, it'll be neat if Travis Kelce is allowed out on Grammy night
He won't be.
He won't be?
No, I just read an article before, if this article is
Oh,
accurate, that the Chiefs will be already in Vegas to start their 2-week protocol, or their
right.
one-week protocol, I guess, at that point, to
Yep.
lead up to Super Bowl. So it sounds like he will not be allowed to leave the team.
Wow, grounded.
Yeah.
Couple of crazy kids in love, and he's grounded.
Yeah.
And he can't even sneak out because the whole world's gonna see him.
Yeah, exactly. Imagine he sneaks in like the janitor that I told you should be at the Madonna concert. Yeah, that'd be funny. If he comes up with his little mop and bucket and he's like, here I am.
And then he screams, "You gotta fight for
Yeah.
your right to party." Oh,
Yep.
fun. Okay, well, that's cool. That's the Grammys. By the time we chat next, we will know who all the winners are, and we'll have a debate to see if we're for or against.
Yep. Are you going to watch?
I'm okay with that.
Sharon?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like the Grammys. I like it because at the end of it, it turns out to be a performance show and people show up. There is a different, like a luster to winning the Grammys, as far as industry recognition and your peers and stuff like that. But like every other award show, they make mistakes, and so at the end of it all, whatever music you like wins. Do you know what I mean? Like, even if it doesn't actually win a trophy, you like it, you win.
Yeah.
That's the best part about music. It's subjective, and we can like whatever the heck we want, and all of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there.
When Taylor wins all categories,
Exactly. The shock on her face will make me want to smack her, but I won't smack her. I'll just be happy for her.
You know what's funny is I wonder if, like, because I can't even remember a time now where she hasn't been at the Grammys. Like, I'm sure there is a few years where her album cycle was, but I feel like she and her team plot, how can I be at every single
Oh, for sure. What else are you going to do? That's your business, right? And
Yeah.
she's very good at that.
Yeah.
Well,
Because it's
speaking
funny,
of
like certain other artists, as you know, Sharon and Adam, like they follow their album cycle however it's gonna go, and then some of them like to disappear for a bit.
yeah,
I just realized like Taylor never goes anywhere, really.
that's all she's known. She's been
Yeah.
at this for so long, she might not know how to take a break.
Yeah. I mean, I think there was a bit of a time that she spent when she was in London, because like we didn't see her with her boy at that time, Joe Alwyn. Like she was living, I think, a lower lifestyle at that point, but now she's back in action.
A lower lifestyle. She was in the skids.
Yeah.
She had hit the skids and then she had a great big return. What a story.
So thankfully she's a billionaire now and can afford everything.
Yeah. So how about this? After a year of movies that told people's stories, like Diana Nyad. Have you seen that movie, Nyad?
Not no.
It's
Nope.
very good. Very good. Like, I would advise watching that movie before the Oscars, honestly.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, it's an impressive story. And both Jodie Foster and Annette Bening attack those characters really well. And it's a true story too. So it's the way the story is told, the challenge that she's put herself in, like that it actually happened, amazing. So highly advise that. But the fact that it was a story that was told of someone, one of the long list of movies like Maestro, so that was telling the Leonard Bernstein story, Oppenheimer for Robert Oppenheimer. There's another movie that we can look forward to that's telling the life story of Pharrell Williams.
I'm down for that.
Me too. Now, what is the thing that will make this life story stand out from the rest? It's a 4-letter word. Cal?
Lego, my ego.
Yeah. A Lego movie. Isn't that wild?
That's amazing.
Imagine that, how cool that'll be, that and the soundtrack that'll go with it.
Yeah.
Oh my
He's gonna for
goodness.
sure have another Happy.
I hope so. I love that song.
And can you believe it was 2013, I think that came out. Like
That's a bit bonkers.
And that song, or 2013 or 2014, but
wasn't it even before that?
No,
2014, you're right.
There we go.
Wow.
So it's 10 years. That song is 10 years old.
We've been clapping along for 10 years.
I know.
Bonkers.
Oh, it was released the end of 2013. So
okay. Yeah.
What I thought was funny and punny, in fact, was that they said that they've been building this story for a while. And the animated story of his life will get to us in the fall, in fact. So that's very exciting.
Adam, can you Google this? Or I don't know if it was in the article, but he's like, is it the creative director for Louis Vuitton? I think like he's got some crazy title that he's doing stuff for like a big fashion house, and I think it's Louis Vuitton.
Wow.
It is, yeah.
Yep.
He's the men's creative director.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
Like that's the kind of job that you would go through university and hope to earn your way up to. No?
After 30 years of working for the same company.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's just because he wears cool hats. They're like, let's get him.
You with the big hat, get over here. And we got a job for you. Did you see that skit on Saturday Night Live, Big Dumb Hat?
No, I didn't.
Oh, it's Googleable, or you can probably find it on TikTok. It's those women that wear big hats.
Oh, yeah.
And so it's a skit with Amy Schumer and two cast members of Saturday Night Live, and they're like, "Big dumb hat. This is a hat that says," and then each take a turn in describing what that hat says about. And then the hats get bigger. So they revisited that theme on the most recent Saturday Night Live with Big Dumb Cup. So the idea was those big cups that people are carrying around. They do hot and cold beverages perfectly well, and people love them, right? So Dakota Johnson was the guest host, and in her skit, they're describing Big Dumb Cup because this cup says, and then they fill in the joke. And then they go to somebody else and she says, "Did your cup just get bigger?" And they go back to her and it's like this big. And it just keeps getting like as tall as her. It's silly, but very funny.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Did you watch the Justin Timberlake performance in said SNL?
I did. I thought he was very good.
I think this is like he's really going left of center with this album. We'll see how it goes.
It seemed to me, it's funny that you're saying that because it seemed to me quite JT. Like it seemed like early 2000s sort of.
Yeah. Well, I think that Timberland said that this is supposed to be Future Sex Love Sounds Part 2.
What year was Future Sex Love Sounds? I don't even know what I'm saying.
2006.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, he looks good. He sounds good.
Yeah.
And didn't Britney make news this week too? About apologizing to Justin for something that she said in her book?
Well, I don't know if she flat out apologized to him or it was a blanket statement, but then she made sure to shout him out, I think, for his new songs. So, but did you see what Britney fans did?
Yes, I did.
Isn't that crazy? Funny. The power.
Yeah. Power to prevent a song from getting to #1, right?
Yeah, like to have her selfish song from, what is it, 2013 or something, go to #1 again? Like, it's just.
And it's kind of funny too, like as if he didn't know that she had a song called Selfish. Like, wouldn't you then find a new title for your song? I mean, selfish is a very common word, but all things considered, come up with another one.
Yeah.
Don't be so
Makes-
selfish.
Self-centered.
Yeah. Self-centered rhymes with less. All right,
It's
you guys,
true.
are you ready to go back in time?
Yeah.
All right, your 90s rewind takes us back to around this time in 1996, where at the top of the charts, there were 5 voices. 1, Mariah Carey, 4, Boys to Men, and One Sweet Day was a beautiful example of how the power of positivity and memory just can sit on top of the charts for a while.
Yep.
Now, also within the top 40 was a song called Hook by Blues Traveler. And as soon as I see that song, not necessarily hear it, but just see it, I think of Emma Stone and the lip sync battle that she did with Jimmy Fallon. And she crushed it. And this is years ago, probably 10, I want to say. Do yourself a favor, do a search for the now Oscar nominated Emma Stone doing the lip sync battle with Jimmy Fallon, because she does Blues Traveler's Hook, and it's good, like good. Also within the top 40 was Seal and Kiss from a Rose.
Wow.
What are you expecting from a rose that it's going to kiss you, Seal? And because we all know that Kelly loves her Janet Jackson, but she likes her some Goo Goo Dolls, the song Name from Goo Goo Dolls was in the top 10. And Oasis actually popped onto the charts around this time back in 1996, popping on at number 21, which is a pretty strong debut spot. That for a song that we still get to hear fairly regularly today, Wonderwall from the Great Morning Glory album. And of course, we keep on hearing about how they don't need the money that they've been offered to reunite. And how it's not about the money, right? Which is starting to bug me because it may not be about the money for you,
Yeah.
Noel. But perhaps you could do it for the money and then donate it.
True.
Donate it to people who need it. Or consider the fact that maybe, no, you don't need the money, but your fans really want this to happen. So do it for the fans. So I think I've turned the corner on. Isn't this a quirky tale about the brothers fighting too? Just get it together.
Yeah.
You goofballs. Okay, so one last in our handful of songs. I think that should be enough. My Oasis rant should be enough to wrap up 5 songs from around this time in 1996. That is your 90s rewind.
Thank you, Sharon.
Job,
Thank you.
I will just tack on to that it annoys me when artists forget to remember that the fans put them where they are.
Yeah.
And like, you should be doing, as much as you can to be grateful.
Yeah.
And give back.
Agreed.
So I
Agreed.
think, and that's the other thing too, is like, because these two are so feisty, that also drives me nuts, where it's like, there's a million other artists out there, if not more, that would jump at the opportunity to be where they are.
Yeah.
And I feel like they take it for granted and they just expect it to be there.
Yeah, and it's an interesting thing, I think, with music, is that it's so intertwined in our lives and our memories and our experiences that the more current dialogue on top of our past doesn't change the way it's so woven. So they can say all this stuff and we're still going to like run to the venues if they do ever decide to do it. They can say all like, oh, we don't want to do it for the money. It's not about the money, blah, 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 all that stuff. But we're still going to like charge and go, yay, they're doing it if they ever decide to do it. That's just the weird thing that the hold that music has on us.
It's weird.
And I love it.
So my last surprise of the soiree is that Shane, Kentucky Shane, who is set to retire at the end of this school year.
Yeah.
Because we had given him a shout out, and I don't know if you saw, I don't think Adam is on the Facebook with him, but Sharon and I are. And by the time, actually, I think it's actually even over, because as of our recording, he would have coached his last basketball game with the kids.
Wow.
And hung up his whistle forever, as he put. So like, sending lots of love to Shane. And he had a question for, and I should mention, he still has about 3 or 4 more months left to go of school before that finishes up. But he's like, I'm not sure when this is all going to hit me. So we'll see. but sending him lots of love and light. And then he had a question for the three of us. What current artist or band has the best 90s vibe? Or to put it another way, been a top 40 charter in our favorite decade? So what would your current artist best 90s vibe?
I'm going to take, it's funny, Green Day.
Okay, solid.
Because their consistent approach to making music, it sounds kind of signature every time because it's them and you can recognize their voice, but their approach to the art of it is always different, and it demonstrates growth within the band. But they sound as 90s as they ever did, so they sound as youthful and as energetic as they ever did. So I'll pick Green Day.
Adam, are you ready to pick? Do you want me to go?
You go, because I can't. You go.
So again, the question is, what current artist or band has the best 90s vibe? Or to put it another way, been a top 40 charter in our favorite decade? For me, current artist or band that has a great 90s vibe. It's funny because there's a few of them that know to take tinges from the 90s.
Yeah.
So I guess the one that's, well, the latest that sticks out for me, and by the way, her song has gone to #1 on the Billboard chart, which sounds very 90s, is Ariana Grande's Yes and.
Oh yeah, you're right.
It's
Oh, nice. All right.
Yep.
I see it.
Yeah, so Adam can add in, and I will also just say Dua Lipa because with her Future Sex Loves, sorry, not that's Justin, but with her Future Nostalgia,
yeah,
all of that kind of.
I agree with you.
Vibes also.
And that's exactly where I was going.
Go,
Nice.
Adam, finish it.
Well, I was about to say Dua Lipa.
Okay.
Very good.
And her latest single and all she's doing right now, it's so good.
Houdini.
And I think we've heard snippets of future singles to be released. It sounds great.
That's cool.
Bravo, Dua.
Yeah.
And bravo to our one prince, Kentucky Shane.
Yeah.
My hope for Shane is that when it does hit him that he's decided to, hang up the whistle, put the chalk down, walk away from the whiteboard, know that the impact of everything that you have done for hundreds and hundreds of kids will have an effect on the world ultimately. So thank you for the good work that you did.
J'agree.
Yeah.
He's a good guy. We've never met him in person, but you can just tell he's a good guy.
Well, he sent us Kentucky shirts.
I love my Kentucky shirt.
Yeah. And and just the impact that he's had on us for the last 12 seasons. We love that he's been such an ardent follower of our show. And so I can only imagine what his students feel for him. So good job, Shane.
Well done, sir.
Yes, sir.
Awesome. Thank you to everybody. Thank you all for finding us wherever it is that you do that, and then always looking back every week to see that we're still there for you. We appreciate that you're listening. Thank you very much. Thank you for listening to 90s Now, still happening.